Okay, good morning. It is Tuesday, October 18th. And as you can see, I've made a couple changes. That gold thing's gone, that wreath is gone. So do what I can on a daily basis, and that's probably good advice for us all, right? Okay. So yesterday on the way into work, I was listening to my uploaded, my last one, hopefully I think there's an inherent part of us that likes to watch ourselves, but not so much here. I like to watch myself when I look and talk exactly like I should, but that's probably not going to be the majority of the time. Let's see, we're going to pump this up to, I'm on my Peloton here. We're going to pump it up to a 2.4. Anyway, so I like to try to let things go where they may. I think that's kind of one of the way the universe talks to us. There'll be a session coming up, or a cast coming up later about coincidence, which is very interesting. But anyway, so what came on was prominent YouTubers and their biggest mistakes. I know none of these people. I think maybe it went into my feed because I've been doing, looking so much at how do you start a channel, obviously set and lighting and all that. But I think it's interesting because it went through several iterations or different, one led into another, so it was different people. But what they all said is they were so concerned about what they looked like. I mean, a couple of these people spent a year, 2 years, buying set, buying lighting, and it's probably a virtue of their field. I certainly do that. I think I alluded to that. I want to build the furniture and the house and the landscape, but there was a really strong pull to just get on and start doing this. So I want to say, obviously I was not concerned about what I look like or what my set or studio looked like, but I did it anyway. The rest will come, and hopefully someday this will be all I do, not on this treadmill all I do, although it's a mighty fine way to knock out your exercise with something you want to accomplish. And we're going to try to go up to 2.5 here. Comfortable talk and walk. All right. What do I want to be doing someday? In a book I'm going to talk about later called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza, you create this grid for what you want, and it's trying to get you, it's when you're meditating, trying to get you in touch with the void or the source of all, or whatever you want to call it. But for me, there was a really big push for communion. And communion with people who believe, and I'll show you that original sheet at some point, who believe that we have the power to change our future. That was one of my goals, and I wanted to rewrite this and redo it, and I kept getting this stronger push, no, leave it as you've written it. But one of the things that is important to me is to be surrounded by people who believe we can make a difference. We can make a difference in our own lives, we can make a difference in the life of others and this planet. You hear, I don't know about you guys, but when I was growing up and I was really struggling with what do I want to do, which is kind of funny in a way, kind of funny and not, but I know when I was getting ready to go to college, you have to, at the time, they had all these tests and things that you do to try to narrow down your field, which is kind of ridiculous. The first couple of years you take a ton of classes, right? But oh my gosh, my mom was like, I was this little ball of anxiety, just like, how am I supposed to decide what I want to do for the rest of my life? Which you change your profession 7 to 8 times, they say. I haven't really done that, but I certainly have explored the depths of my profession. So they say, do what you love, look at where you spend your time. I have always spent a lot of time exploring. I would say that the broader scheme would be consciousness, but pushing every boundary of what is this? What are we here for? What does this mean? I love what I do professionally, but the last couple years, probably when I say couple, it's more like 10, 12. There's just seems, and my, like I think I already told you, my first degree was in nutrition. My second is in pharmacy. So nutrition and healthcare. Huge gap in between how we're taking care of people and I think how they need to be taken care of. So, and we're pretty dogmatic in our profession, or in the medical profession, I think. I think that's changing. I think there are a lot of people that are getting ready to step outside that. So, how do you know what to do? That's another big question of mine. I feel really bad for people, because we see them, or I see them, not at the end of their journey, but certainly not at the best part of their journey. And like I tell patients and I tell parents, actually I'm in pediatric oncology, that's where I'll finish my career, that you have to think of it like a teeter-totter. And now this teeter-totter has tottered. So things that you might do, or you want to do, or you have the luxury to do on a regular person, you kind of don't. You kind of, the whole kitchen sink matters. And that's really interesting in this documentary, if you go back to it, the one that I alluded to earlier, is, and I've heard this many times, and I did adult oncology before I did pediatric oncology, that you got to throw everything at it. There is definitely the homeopathic route, which I am a big fan of. I wouldn't say fight with my coworkers or my colleagues, but I say this is as important as this. And a lot of people go, pediatric oncology, oh my God, that's horrible. That was adult oncology for me. But going back to HEAL and trying to tie that in together, because you'll notice I do tend to flutter, is these people to heal had to literally change everything about their lives. Now, Quest for the Cure and all that, they really focus on the nutritional component, which I think is huge. But I think when you're here and you've been handed this diagnosis, that is not enough. Now, pediatric oncology, unbelievable. These little kiddos, they don't miss a beat. They teach us how to live. It's just, they wake up, it's part of their life, they go forward. Big lessons. The people that it's the hardest to watch and that are the most devastated are the parents. Rightfully so. But these kids have such a good prognosis. We can deal, like, we may be setting them up later in life for oncologic situations, but I'm hoping that by the time we get there, medicine is caught up. But the majority of our kids have leukemia, they roll with it, they get COVID, they get flu, they lop off an arm, they go on. It's amazing. So, but rarely do we stop and ask the question, how did we get here? And I think that's one of the big red flags of cancer. And we spend much more on that, is it's a huge wake-up call. And a lot of patients say that. And any disease, any imbalances, but waking up and listening, that's the hard work. All right. So I think that is it for today. I did things a little bit differently today. I am trying to move things around, trying to change me in the frame. You may not notice, because we all think that people notice things a lot more than they do. My hair is significantly different. Got it done on Saturday. I thought I was past hair drama. I'm going to try to tackle that in a mature and adult way. I am going to finish up. I'm at 32. I think I'm going to do the Savannah. I put that on the background. I'm actually going to start Transcending the Biblical Narrative Part 1. Lots more on that to come, because that has become super interesting to me as of late. And I wish you a blessed day. Dahanavad, and I will see you tomorrow.